Hello guys, it's time for another OptiNews, and this time I have made great progress for those who are watching my Discord there. I was posting a lot of videos of my attempts to create a more proper 3D engine for the 3DO engine for the 3DO. And an engine that features having a player camera and moving around the world instead of the usual thing I always did on 3D graphics, where I would rotate a 3D object, a cube or other object, and then position it on the center of the screen. And what I was trying to do now is to make an engine, and this was an effort of 2 weeks of continuous coding. An engine where you can place some objects, place a 3D grid, and you can move around a player like it's a first-person game. And there will be some kind of object sorting and polygon sorting. So you will see there won't be any, back polygons render in front of the polygons in the front. There won't be any discrepancy. And I try to minimize that, so everything works from every corner and I can add stuff. And what I have added here is also the software rendered. This object is the Guru environment map Guru software rendered effect. That's why this is fast. When you go close, it's slow. You go here, it's fast. You look down, it's slower. Because I even have a system where if the bounding box of an object is outside, I stop even calculating, let alone render stuff. I stop the transformation of some objects. So if you look far, stops rendering. Also, even in the ground, I might not send if some polygons are entirely outside, there might be some clipping. And this is something I'm trying to improve. There is also lighting. There are normals on each polygon. And I use all those cubes are rendered with a 3DO cell engine. But the software render object is rendered on a billboard, pixel per pixel, and then the billboard is rendered with a cell on the screen, on the right position and scale. And we try to clip it with other objects, but that doesn't work perfectly well. If there was an object below, above, and they were touching, wouldn't work well with that. And here, of course, if you get inside, there are some, but I'm not going to allow you to go so much inside. But it starts looking well, and I can look from above. That was my dream, to stop making those. Here is a 3D object on the center of the screen, and do an actual engine where a lot of the clipping stuff will be taken care. And then I started making more scenes too. I tried to do a crash test with a lot of cubes. See, if I look here, it's faster. If I look up, I look through all the cubes. This is 54 cubes. And this is not entirely optimized because I think I might call a matrix function from the 3D matrices per each bounding box of the object, and this is an SWI. So I could optimize this more so that you can have a lot of objects with different rotation and different position. But finally, in the first versions, the polygon order would be totally wrong in the object order, and you will see objects in the back being rendered in front of other objects. here I have a simple sorting by the depth of the bounding box of each object, and I think I'm using, because the objects are few, I'm using an insertion sort for this one, but later there is also sorting for polygon meshes that are non-convex, and I use there a different method which is much faster. And this is, by the way, this is real speed on the Phoenix emulator. And then I started making more tests. I said, what if I have 27 objects, but they are more complex? Now these are smaller because I changed something. But every one of these objects has 36 polygons. 36 by 3 by 3 by 3, 27. It's going to be maybe 900 polygons total. But see, if I look at this place, if I look there, the frame rate is better. Because now the ones on my left side are not rendered. And as I go there and more objects are revealed, they are also not only not rendered, they are not even transformed. Because I will first transform the bounding box of an object and see if it falls inside or outside the camera. And I even do it before the projection. I have a reverse function that tells me if my depth, if my Z was 500, for example, how much to the left or side the X coordinate and the Y coordinate would fall before it reaches the edge of the screen. The screen is 320 by 240, but since when you project objects, they go, the further away they are, they go closer to the center. A far away object could go on the left and right side, could be on 4000 X or Y coordinate, plus minus 4000, for example. Before it finally, after the projection, it won't be on the screen. So I do it before the projection, which is even better. I do something like that for the polygons too. Now you see polygons disappear. I could fix that. This is because right now, if all four points of a polygon are out of the screen, I do some naive, okay, you don't have to read it. But they might not be. If you go close, it's hard to pinpoint that, but it's the way I move. That polygon there, the 4 points are outside on the screen, but that doesn't mean that the polygon is not rendered. So I can improve that. I know how to improve that. I can have certain cases are good to let go, others not. And I needed this stuff among with other things because some big polygons that were very close would have some overflows in the cell vector values, and you would see some weird things appearing in front of the whole thing. And finally, I wanted to test something else. I wanted to make an object. I wanted to see the polygon clipping. So now, when you look up, you have a tower of polygons. And also this was testing the polygon sorting. I have to sort the polygons and render back to front. Sort by depth after the rotation and the projection, I think, yeah. But the clipping with the screen happens, the clipping of a single polygon happens before the projection. So I wanted to make an enormous object and see if it works well. So, for example, here, if you look at this side, the polygons that are outside on top and on bottom will not be rendered, will not be sent to this. So I only render a portion of this object. And as you look, only what you need. But also at this point, I think I have to rotate all the points so that I know where they fall, even before the projection, and if I have to bother rendering them. When I have to render them in a smaller list, because some are discarded early, I have to project them and see the depth of the center of the polygon. It's a bit of crude, but it works, so that I render back from a far distance to front, so that you don't see the polygons hidden in this non-convex object appearing in front. So whether I look from here or from here, the sorting is proper. Of course, if you go too close, some polygons are disappearing, but I can fix this. And if you move up and watch everything on top, everything is there. Let me see. 20 frames is a lot. No, I don't have overclocking. Maybe this, I don't remember, maybe I reduce some complexity. I think I would get 10 frames on the real 3D for this one. Maybe we can run it later on the real 3D just to check. Why not? That was the big test I did, where I can finally manage the sorting. And I use Z bucket sorted lists, and I play a lot with the next pointer link on the cell structure. So when I decide that I'm going to render those cells, and some of them are discarded because they are out of the screen, so there's a reduced list. And now I get those and I rearrange the linked pointers based on the depth. First I have this thing with the Z sorted lists with the buckets, which is great because it's not a n squared or n log n. It's inserting things on arrays and linking the ends of the arrays of the buckets to the next buckets. So there is very little sorting. It's very fast. Now, I read somewhere this technique is used frequently on the PlayStation 1. I think this has 512 polygons, this tower. And finally, let's see what else I have here. Oh yeah, that's the thing I did recently. So before I even starting with this project, my dream goal was to recreate a 3D scene from an old demo, Amnesia by Renaissance. I even did the stars, which are stars in a globe. So this and the original demo had a flat shaded temple scene. I'm gonna show you something with that. And there was a cube in the central pedestal. Now I put and it's slow, I put the software rendered object on the pedestal. So that software rendering is slow, of course. Maybe we will be much better with the Guru shading. Actually, I might try it. And I created all this geometry, but there is something about it. This geometry is kinda subdivided. So when you see this side of the pillar, it's not just one quad, it's subdivided in 2x2 quads. And this big triangle is subdivided. Oh, I see there are some issues with it. So there are things to fix. It's very hard to make. You will see polygons popping up. It's the priorities or the... But now you can see at the roof and it's... Oh yeah, okay, it has problems, of course. It's very hard to solve these problems because the polygons are big, and that's why I kinda subdivided this. It was much worse. I should show you something with this one and even make this gross shaded because I want to try. Let's see. Thinking about. There are two things I want to try. Soft method, good shading. Now, remember there was this video. Was it this one? Where this is the Guru shading version, the one that is, it's a different method. It's not full Guru shading software. It's half software rendering and half using the cell engine to fake Guru shading. But there was a bug. I think I fixed that one. But let's see, and that will make at least the Guru shaded version much faster. And I need to see though. I have the fast Guru enable. And really the bug was somehow I destroyed the thing. The bug was that these are the study. For some reason this was 1. I don't know how. I don't know if I mistyped something and then saved it and forgot about it. So you get the left and right scanline edges, and you go from y0, not psi, to y1 down, and you increase the point. But for some reason, the right edge was started from the lower scanline. You have to start both from the. It was something as simple as that, and that was I had a long time to test that. And somehow I mistyped something and forgot about it. I don't know why. So this one might use it might be render soft method Guru, just that. Let's run Phoenix because yeah, it's the one closest to the hardware. And I'm so excited about this because all in my demo sim career, I would always either do 2D effects, which are my favorite, plasma effect, fire effect, rotozoomer, pseudo 3D tunnels and stuff, or doing the basic rendering a simple 3D object in the center of the screen. Maybe I would move the object around. Maybe I would fake. Do you remember the water effect I did in the previous OptiNews? That was still a 3D object moving in the center. But that's an issue. You have to define a player camera and player view, and the objects should be. What if you have more objects? You have to make it in a word and use the matrix of the player rotation against the matrix of the object rotations and the position, and find the relative position and do some more work. And then the polygon sorting and polygon clipping against the screen. There is a lot of stuff. Stuff still break. Yeah, there it is, the Guru object. This is the Guru object, and it still slows down things, but it's much better. Yeah, the temple from the... Let's move around and see the stars. Some of the stars are popping. They are in the furthest distance. I have to do the stars in a different way, because right now, if you go there, you can meet the stars. I have to change the way so that they are stars on eternity and they are only rotated, not. But now the transformation works, so you can really reach those stars, which is funny. Oh, and my temple has disappeared and it has popping. But I can finally make a world. I can finally start making a... If I solve the issues, optimize some... I have some idea for an optimized mega grid of... For a world that also will help me with visibility and will help me make worlds like that are more like Minecraft. And they won't look blocky necessarily like Minecraft. I can have some additional details. But the block structure will help me. I would show you another thing I was studying. Still, that engine can go far. And everything renders correctly with some little artifacts. And so, concerning what objects are in front and what objects are... Of course, you go too close to the polygons and things can... There are still bugs to solve. Wow. So the other thing I want to show you, I made a crude subdivider for my mesh, and I'm going to show you here. We will use the grid text just to show you, just to visualize. When you see a big flat area, it's really more polygons. Let's show you how it is. And I'm so excited for that. I will continue working it, and I will start making a video game for 3D. Here, now, you know, I'm using this grid. This grid, you would think it's a big quad with this texture. No, it's a subdivided quad. That was how it was originally, where each white square is a different quad, different polygon, so you can kinda see the geometry. While these cubes, one side of a cube is one polygon, and that's it. This cyber texture, as I call it, I plastered it in each polygon, so you can kinda see the polygonization for straight surface. So here, while this surface should be one big polygon, but I have broken it in 16 polygons, 4x4, and you can see it with the pattern. And I even have a way to subdivide the triangles, which triangles are really stretched quads. They are quads with a singularity, and you even see how the singularity is very trippy. And see all this pyramid and the columns and the base. There are more surfaces than you think, and there is a reason for that. The reason is I can look here and it doesn't break. Because if it was a big polygon, when I was looking here, all four corners of the polygon will be outside. Of course, I can, if all four corners of polygon are outside, but they are on different sides, I can. There is an extra algorithm I can do, where with different cases, and some bit arithmetic, where you can determine, okay, those points are outside, but are they all outside? Are they outside on the left side? Are they outside on the right side? Or are they scattered so that the polygon area is still inside, so you still have to render? This is something I haven't implemented, but if you subdivide this area in smaller polygons like here, then you have, it's hard to, for a polygon, I would have this square here, I would have to move pretty close. See, maybe here, the triangles there at outside. It's hard to show. So this subdivision help, even if it's more calculation. And also, right now it's not perfect. Right now I'm duplicating points, and I have to write another algorithm to do a second pass and remove points that are common, but alter the indices. Because the way I did it was just to make this work. And with the columns, here you would move at this place, and now this column would disappear if it goes one big polygon. But since it's 4 polygons, and some of the points of those polygons are still inside, it's still rendered. I could actually show you. I could remove the subdivisions. Show you how it was originally. Oh, okay, let's run Phoenix just to be correct. I don't want to run for the overclock and you think that, oh, the engine is really fast. It's better to be honest and show the correct speed. Okay, maybe on real 3DO is a bit slower all the same. And here you see, each side of this roof is one polygon. This is a quad, but with 2 points moved together to create a triangle. But see what happens. I move here. By the time, okay, the 2 of the 3 points of the triangle are out. Now the third point is out. Disappeared. Or I could see see what happens if you don't subdivide. There are some other errors. You would look up and it would disappear. I could not see the roof. I would see the stars. And here, the central pillar, this is a big quad, big vertical quad. By the time I do that, it disappears. I want to go side here and still see it. It's not a matter of being very close to the polygon. It's the way I'm discarding polygons now, which can improve too, of course. And see the fun now. Oh, I might actually. Let's make something funny. Let's make a lot of subdivisions on the roof. I don't know if it will run or crash. And I'm telling you, this is not the most optimal because there are, as I subdivide, there are some common vertices that fall on each other. And this could be one vertex with the same index. But let's see if it loads, because I could be out of memory if I subdivide too much. It works. Oh no, I am out. What the hell? What the? See? Yeah, those are the funny bugs there. Yeah, that's. Okay, let's Let me do something. Of course, the way it is now, these are things I will try to improve. I have a static array with, maybe that's it. Let's see. I'm surprised it even loaded. Oh, and I will show you, I have done more. I have tried to load the 3D objects from an old, yeah, I'll show you that. Let's go, okay. Now this is an extremely subdivided mess. I don't know how many, if 2048, but that was for the point. How many polygons does that have? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 16 by 16, I guess, 256. And the base might have the same. Wow. Of course, it's very slow if you do it like this. And we won't need to subdivide so much. 1, 2, maybe it has, if the triangles are the same. It has 4096, no, 256 by 5, 1280 maybe. Oh, whoa, that's a curious one. You know what, that I spoke about this. It's the clockwise anti-clockwise function of the 3DO. Anyway, I talked about that bug. Insane. Let's put it the way it was. Where is it? So this was just to show you the I should have a button that switch between, instead of putting those comments, I should have some UI thing that lets you switch. Okay. Wow. I think it's okay now. Oh, maybe I'll show you. I have a better example in this one, where I try to make a new repository, but this is a bit private. Although, if I make some good changes, I could upload on the experiments 3DO. I like to share some of this code, but then also in this Bizarro engine, which will be my engine for my game, I cleared up some things I don't want, and I started from the. No, it's not that. Bizarro engine, man. Hold on. There's definitely no menu. I scrapped the menu on the. Okay, let's see it here. Let's put it here. Even though I think it's a bit slower than the real 3DO. But okay. So this is the how I load the 3D mesh also, instead of procedural generating. And how there are some bugs, but generally speaking, the polygon of the object is sorted. Let's go here. It's a bit dark. So this handle is rendered always in front of it, no matter where it is. There are no polygons clipping in front, but there are some bugs with this one. But okay. And then the teapot is sorted with the cubes, for example. So it will be occluded by the cube. Or looking from above. And now let's see the other one. And I know a lot of places that I can optimize. I can make things faster. Oh, it was yellow. I changed the... Don't remember changing the colors. So this is the 3D mask. Oh, the lighting is wrong. It's not exactly correct. Why is this the backside lit, for example? And then those are all things I'll fix, of course. But it works. The polygons are sorted correctly, so that the ones in the front will occlude correctly the ones in the back. And here on Discord, I've shown you where I was loading the cow some very heavy objects. I mean, I could try it. Maybe just the cow. And I think if I can revisit how I passed the large number of polygons to the hold on, let's run this one. To the cell engine. There are some things I can improve. I have found them already. I think I could make even this object a bit faster. Maybe it's not going to be 7 frames. Maybe it's going to be 9 frames. But it doesn't matter because I'm not going to put such a heavy object on my game. I'm going to go low poly. It's just a crash test of what is the complexity of what we can load. I don't remember the number of the polygons for this one. I think it's over 2000, sure. Maybe 3,000 and a half. But I just love it, what happens now, that all these polygons are sorted by Z. If you look there, the frame rate improves. So there is some kind of clever clipping, like, okay, I don't need to rotate all these points and render. I don't need to do anything now. As you go in, now something has to happen with this object, but now if you look part of the object, now all the points are rotated. They have to be rotated so that you know And before the projection, I do some clever check with the screen and the projection to know if some of the polygons will fall out. So I can skip those polygons, but I have to rotate all the points though, at the moment. And as I move more into view, the frame rate is bad. But if I have to watch all of the object and everything is in, also the ones on the back might be discarded for all I know. Do I discard them? That's something I could check. Because here I've made many ways. I have options. And those options are interesting. Engine. There. Because I have for the software, and if you want to render this with software rendering, I don't know if this will work right now. If I switch to the software renderer, I could render this thing with points. Let's see that. Let's see that. Of course, if you render this with points, just for fun, I never tried it. Now the point rendering happens on the 3DO video RAM at this point. Because it's just a single point. I don't create cells. And the video RAM data structure is more weird, but not that hard. And I might call a function for that now, which might not be in line, so maybe it's not fast, I don't know. Oh no. The cow with points, wow. Yeah, definitely the frame rate is a bit better. Even here, if the points are outside, they are not rendered. Nice. So anyway, what I wanted to test, I think trying to render with the software renderer will break it. I don't even know if let's try it. And there is a thing, the polygon sorting logic is not implemented on the software renderer yet. Because on the hardware rendering the polygon sorting, and I use the cell structure where there is a next pointer that goes on the cell structure. I have to create similar object with a linked lists so that I'm able to reorder the polygons and with the buckets and so on. So I don't know what will happen. It might even crash with those. Yeah, I think it's because I haven't tried it and I might need to do some extra stuff. I think it crashed. So forget about that now. So there is some work to do for heavier objects and I don't know. I wanted to look something else. Right now, I calculate lighting. I could try to not calculate lighting, but and then this one, this could be slower, or the polygons in the back buffer. It will skip sending the cell polygons in the back buffer. So let's work for the cell, but there is a test on the CPU for you know, polygons that look on the other, they are in the backside of the object, let's say. And I have this option for another reason, because sometimes it could be slower, it could be, it's about the, it's, yeah, it's wrong. You see the insides. Yeah, because I don't support clockwise and counterclockwise, both of them. But I wanted to see the frame rate, and it seems about the same, maybe. In one case, I prepare the cells, so there's some extra work there. And then the cells decide that a polygon is in the backside. Now the order is reversed, of course. But I think, because I do that. Oh, I rendered both. I must have had a reason. That's interesting. And that's why. But those would be skill. Okay, I know. It has to be false true or true false. Or I have another function. It's been a bit long though. I have shown most of the things I want to show. There are plenty of things to do. There are plenty of things in my mind. Now that shows the insides. Now I think I have to flip the, even if I do it like that. I think I need to do something else, because those objects, the polygon order is not what you expect. Anyway, there are a lot of things to test here. For some reason I had it like that. There are a lot of things to optimize. And I might do it later. Now, before I finish, I could tell you maybe the plans. I wanted to start working with this engine, which I call Bizarro engine, a long time ago. This is, but I didn't have any progress then. And this was since 20. Wow. Almost 2 years ago. But if I run this, I'll run it here. You will see nothing, because either I had some issues with even rendering the polygons back then, but now we have solved that. Or I was hacking something and put it in a state that I don't know how to revert it. But here is the idea I have. This is a map. Now, this is going to be the big thing I want to do. This is a top-down map, and this is the player, and I'm moving the player, and I would sort of calculate the view pyramid, let's say. Also, I have better ways to do this properly now. So that you would move around. This is a representation only, but I don't have anything rendered because I couldn't do it back. And those boxes would be a lot of 3D boxes like it's a Minecraft thing. And I have some, those are the levels. This is the higher level. You move in lower level. This is the ground. These are some boxes. And these are clouds or something. And the idea would be, I would do also one, the vertical side of this pyramid. It would be like a 3D pyramid of blocks. And the idea is that you could easily, as you move in the wall, I could easily know that I could know the 3D geometry in a blocky grid that I have not only to render, I have to rotate. So you would have a world with a lot of stuff, and I would know with this visibility trick, I will know the much fewer things that I have to rotate in the view and render and fill the quads. And I could even generate on the spot some of the hard surfaces. And if I do this in combination with the modern engine that I start here. So this is the private repository, and I'm doing a lot of cleanup that I started very recently. And I started cleaning up here. I deleted some stuff I don't know now. I simplified some things. I needed to simplify because there were some weird bugs with the 3DO libraries or something. And maybe I had some memory corruption or something. So I used to work with this here since forever. 20, but some of the examples are older. With this engine I used to work in the start of July. Third of July, and previously I did the water and the plasma 3D. I will also convert them. I will try to place them in a world and you can move, and there will be a pool of water. I was thinking to make a flag with the same, a waving flag, but place it vertically at some place. And there is the one thing I'm thinking, which is maybe Oak3 visibility, just for some screenshots. So you can have it might not be an Oak3 with subdivision. This is an Oak3, it has subdivision. It might be only the big cubes. Unless I can make it into an Oak3. It's going to be more complicated. I like the simple representation. So here, the view cube, you will know only the cube areas in the 3D grid which will be visible to the view. And this way I will know what to render. This is the big thing I want to implement. And it's not going to be a complete doctrine. And not only that, but and this is for the individual 3D objects in the scene, and some flat surfaces, some walls and so on. And I will know that I will start from back in the grid to front. So I will also have a rendering from back to front. Of course, if you have a complicated object like this, this might be inside a single box on this 3D grid. It's going to be bigger than this. It's going to be maybe 4x4 of this, like 256 by 256. Okay. So I can use the 3D engine for the complicated models, but it will help me with the big surfaces, with walls, ceilings, floors, you know, and all that stuff. And also to know an alternative way to know, I will not need to rotate. If I have 100 3D objects in the scene, I will know that I have to bother with 10 of them that happen to be in the grid. Because if you take the position, the bounding box position of an object as it moves, with some arithmetic shifts, you can know if it is inside the 256 block. 256 by 256 by 256. That's one idea I have. And the other idea I have that has to do with the subdivision. Cloud fractal might be related with that. Ah, yeah. Here, you have 4 points, and you with some you can get the points in between. You can add these coordinates to add and shift right by 2, divide by 2, and get this point, for example. And you can very easily get the points in the middle. But what I have done in my subdivider, which is very crude now, and I have a better idea. And this is done now, this is creating a new mesh though, but I have a better idea for some other really cool stuff. I have my 4 point V0, V1, V2, and then there's V3. It depends if it's a triangle or not, so it's a quad. And I say, give me the middle vertex between V0 and V1. V1 and V2, V2 and V3, V3 and V0. And then the fifth vertex is an average. I don't need to do it here in the triangle. And it's simplest adding the coordinates of both and shift right by 1. I could have divide by 2. The compiler is clever to do at least this one, but okay. And maybe I can. So I have, also I should be finishing this one. I have 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. Maybe some. Where are size? And I could get, so if I have this quad, I could get this middle point, this middle point, this middle point, this, and then add this 4, divide by 4, and I get this. And now I can, I used to have this code, now I can, with new indices, I can have this one, and I subdivide it, and then I can continue. I could do the same here, and have this one, and so on. But my idea is, right now, I'm procedurally generating, I'm giving an old mesh, I'm creating a new. This is going to be slow to do in real time. My idea is that the mesh, if I want to do some level of detail for various reasons, it will always be, it will have a quad with 4 corners. I will rotate those corners, and after the rotation, before the projection, I will, if I need to subdivide, I will find the new points, and I'll, where I was going to take these 4 points and create the cell data for one polygon, I will on the fly create the 4 polygons. But if this quad is far away, it's going to be 1 quad. If it's close, it's going to be 4 quads and or more. But the idea is that I'm not going to have, I will do a lot less transformation. I will have to rotate these 4 points. And after the rotation, I can still find, because it's on 3D space, X, Y, Z. I can still find the middle points, and they will be okay. Now, if I also projected the point, it would be, I will lose the perspective there. So I should do it before the rotation. So the idea is, right now, when I subdivide this object, I create much more vertices. Way more polygons and way more vertices. And then I have to rotate way more points. But if I make a real 3D world where quads that are visible if I go for such solutions with the octree or visibility, and even without the lifts, even in the first level, then I'll have to create on the fly quads and transform them and so on. And if the quads are coming closer, although that's the octree, but it's also like subdividing, I will then subdivide on the fly only the ones that are pretty close, so that we can solve, you know, the issue I had with the temple roof. That was the way I could, you would look at the temple far away and it will be 1 quad per surface, and then this would be 4 quads per surface and 16 quads, but on the fly. And I think that would make possible bigger worlds where most of the points that you rotate will still be small, and from few rotated points you can create additional points just with an add and shift, with 3 adds and shifts, without doing way more transformations on the level of detail. So it's a different approach. It's not the approach I'm taking here, where I create the mesh before. And the polygons that are close, it will solve those problems with the disappearing and bad clipping polygons for the close ones, and it will be light for the further away. And the combination of this visibility cone and this kind of subdivision I have in mind, when I finish those two, I think I will be ready to create the game of my dreams. Which the engine is called Bizarro Engine. The first name for the game is Bizarro Polygono, and I'm planning, if I'm ready, I might even open some page or Facebook or Twitter or something. Also, I will post on Discord. I might announce that I'm having an engine, I'm building an engine in a game, and I might work normally and give frequent updates on the progress. And this will be my dream engine. I really. So it's time to put this Beethoven 3DO rotating for the finale. So slow I can't even control it. And give my final. Because in the last part of the video, I wanted to run it on the real 3DO to conclude not this Beethoven, but the other tests, conclude the video. And I realized again that it crashes on real 3DO, both my old and new engine. And I was like, what the hell, I fixed this stuff. This means I have to try more frequently. Every time I make a change, I have to go and test in the real 3D. But sometimes I'm so excited by code that I do changes upon changes and upon changes. It's so bizarre. But I guess this is to give the finale of the video. Maybe another time I'll show how it runs on the real 3D. And say this will be my last video for some time, for almost a month, because I'll be having some holidays back in my country in Greece for 3 whole weeks after I post this. So I won't be able to post something. Although if I find sometimes to sneak in a little bit of developing, I might try to fix few things here and there. However, most of the time I will be outside. And that's it. See you in 3-4 weeks from now, I guess. Bye.